but it causes repeated trauma to the brain. And over years and years of this happening, people can get what's called chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE syndrome. And it's almost like a disease because with repeated trauma to the brain, and that can lead to memory problems, mood swings, even trouble with movements, and eventually people can develop dementia, like got knocked out by Anthony Joshua this past Friday night. And so I want to break this down from a medical perspective. I'm a neurosurgeon with over 25 years of experience. And so, you know, what happens is when you get hit in the head with that kind of force, like in boxing, our brain actually moves inside our skull and it can bump into the skull, which is a firm structure, and cause bruising of the brain.
In the morning, I can't sleep. My jaw's busted. They wired it up a couple hours ago and it hurts every time I move my mouth. I lost tonight. I gave everything and I still lost. Feels like I let everyone down. I'm not
私は少しめちゃくちゃだけど、あなたは永遠に私を大事にしてくれますか?
Jake Paul gets his jaw broken. Not only that, but he gets his lower jaw broken from the right and the left side. So both sides. And not only this, following that, he went through an emergency surgery procedure to get that sorted out, and titanium plates were inserted to help stabilize the case. This will take long to fully.
Here's the reality. No one wants to face it. When you've been hit like that, truly hit, the brain remembers even if the ego pretends it doesn't. The medical discussions about CTE and long-term damage aren't background noise. They're warning labels. Trauma compounds, hit after hit. And Jake just added a heavy layer, one that time won't simply peel away.
He was going like tie him down and catch him with a good shot and shit like that.
So wait, do you think, curious, because it's a business aspect, but again, I'm still a nigga and I'm still a casual fan, so I'm being real.
6 to 8 months, maybe a year. Plates, dental reconstruction, changes in weight, hesitation in reflexes. And that's only the physical checklist. Mentally, something shifted the moment he admitted heavyweight was a mistake. That sentence, just one sentence, landed harder than any punch, because it sounded like doubt finally finding its voice.
Times pushed down on the back of his neck, pushed down on the back of his head, got him to the ground. There was a few times where Jake looked like he was going for a takedown. Again, that was Jake trying to engage in the clinch, and AJ smartly moved back. In one instance, I think it was the 5th round, Jake engaged for a clinch, AJ moved back and started punching.
Anthony Joshua showing respect made it worse, not better, because respect from the executioner confirms the execution. When AJ said that shot would have dropped real heavyweights, it wasn't praise, it was context. And context is brutal when it reveals just how thin the margin had been all along.
Anthony Joshua sleeping Jake and breaking his jaw in 2 different places, along with breaking his teeth. Javante joined the fun with the rest of the boxing community by throwing a meme on Jake Paul. That was his reaction, as you guys see above.
And don't think this ends with recovery updates and motivational posts. Behind the scenes, promoters are recalculating. Opponents are circling. Commissions are watching closely. And there are whispers, quiet ones, that not everyone involved wants the rematch narrative to exist
Jake
at all.
Paul was knocked out in round 6 and suffered 2 fractures to his left jaw. Here's the moment that did it.
Chin served on the platter for that right hand right there. And look at Jake Paul's face.
There's no way I can share the actual injury here. It's a bit too gruesome as the camera was put inside Jake's mouth and his teeth were actually not in a straight line. They were separated from the others as the jaw deviated. The question is though, what kind of recovery process Jake would...
You're probably framing this as the comeback arc, the revenge story, the Phoenix Rise. But be honest with yourself after that before and after image burned into your brain. Do you really believe the confidence will land the same, or will hesitation creep in just before the next exchange? Because that half second is where careers go to die, right there on Jake's back.
On Jake's back. So all of those things kind of deteriorated or emptied Jake's gas tank a lot earlier than I think he expected it to. But overall, I thought he deployed his game plan well for the first 5 rounds and actually had some success. He even moved AJ back a few times. 1, by just jabbing in the air, and 2, when he caught him, he moved.
Something else is coming out. I can feel it. Too many reactions don't line up. Too many people are choosing their words carefully, and someone is clearly protecting something. Maybe a negotiation. Maybe a condition. Maybe a decision made weeks ago that explains why this unraveled so fast. And when that finally drops, this entire story flips again.
Yeah, he just represents everything that's wrong with boxing, unprofessionalism, and he's getting what he's reaping what he sows. But I hate working with people like that. He stands everyone up, film crews, everything. Doesn't do anything.
So no, this isn't over. Not even close. Jake Paul didn't just lose a fight. He cracked open a debate the sport can't silence. As he heals in private and others celebrate in public, the clock keeps ticking, toward the next reveal, the next leak, the next shock. And when it lands, you're going to wish you hadn't looked away for even a second.
Jake Paul was knocked out in round 6 and suffered 2 fractures to his left jaw. Here's the moment that did it.
Chin served on a platter for that right hand right there. And look at Jake Paul's face.
There's no way I can share the actual injury here. It's a bit too gruesome as the camera was put inside Jake's mouth and his teeth were actually not in a straight line. They were separated from the others as the jaw deviated. The question is though, what kind of recovery process Jake would be.
He didn't just get knocked out, he got erased. Jaw shattered. Future rerouted. And the most unsettling part is that this may be the night Jake Paul's entire boxing identity quietly died, unnoticed by the noise of a Friday crowd. So don't blink, because I'm pulling this back to the second before the disaster, when everyone still believed confidence could cheat physics, power, and consequence. It couldn't. Not even close. And yeah, it doesn't feel real. But it is.
AJ came right back in and swung, but he did move him back.
When this fight was first announced, you said to several media members that initially you weren't down for this fight. You thought it was just a little bit too much too soon, to paraphrase. Did he do better? Did Jake do better than you thought? Result aside, obviously you wanted him to win. You thought, I think by the end, that he was going to win, but did he actually do better than you thought initially?
This wasn't a fight ending. It was a revelation. When Jake hit the canvas and stayed down, it wasn't exhaustion or bad luck. It was the sport finally screaming the truth at him. And here's what nobody wants to say out loud. Yet, something went very wrong long before the final punch. Something structural. Something hidden. And mark my words, someone in this story is lying. We just haven't uncovered who.
And doesn't do any posts, but it is what it is. I'm actually glad this all happened this way so that he doesn't get, the biggest paycheck of his life and just continues to be a piece of shit.
You felt at the moment the tone shifted, right? That split second when the arena went quiet and even the commentators faltered, that's the sound of an illusion collapsing in real time. And let me be clear, this wasn't Anthony Joshua peaking. This was Jake stepping into a level of violence he never actually prepared for. If you think it ends at a broken jaw, you're already behind. Everyone talks about toughness like it's armor, but toughness didn't save him. It only kept him upright long enough to absorb damage that rewrites careers. Because what broke wasn't just bone, it was the boundary between influencer boxing and real heavyweight consequence. And right now, doctors are whispering things they're not ready to say on camera.
Yeah, there's a lot of punching down, practicing, hitting below my knees, and a lot of speed.
He warming up.
We're
now.
sparring.
That's what we need.
We're sparring.
Warm up.
Some
I know
8-year-olds. I got the 8-year-olds in there.
If I find out anything, I'm gonna beat your ass and I'm gonna beat Jaden Love ass. On my mama, I'm gonna beat both of y'all ass. On my mama. And he laughing. He know.
You saw the x-rays. You saw the hospital post. But what you didn't see was the panic behind the scenes. The speed of that surgery, the way this suddenly stopped looking like a fight injury and started looking like a trauma case. And here's the part that makes my stomach turn. That final right hand didn't just land. It changed leverage, timelines, and maybe even how commissions view these matchups going forward. People laughed. Tank laughed. Memes flew. But listen carefully, this is where it gets uncomfortable. That laughter isn't just cruelty. It's relief. Relief that someone finally voiced what the sport had been thinking all along. And the bad blood? It runs far deeper than jokes, deeper than tweets, deeper than anyone is admitting yet. Jake called people out, burned bridges, poked at legacies. When the tank fight fell apart, something snapped, not recalibration, but a doubling down. That exact choice is going to resurface in ways you won't expect, because some of these guys don't forget, and they definitely don't forgive. And yeah, I'm hinting at something ugly on the horizon. Respect to Jake Paul, he made us wait a few rounds to get going because he was moving a lot, holding a lot, and it was difficult to land clean shots. Eventually, AJ took his time, cut him off, and started landing big shots. Credit where it's due, that last shot from Jake, even though it broke his jaw, would have knocked out most heavyweights. He showed real toughness. No one expected him to last that long. Rolled his ankle, broke his jaw, and still kept fighting. Most people wouldn't even have the balls to step in a boxing ring in their life. Jake went up against one of the baddest men on the planet, 40 pounds heavier, 6 inches taller, and one of the most skilled fighters in the world. He did what he had to do to survive, and he did it. Coming off 14 months out of the ring, it's incredibly hard to be razor-sharp against a guy running at you, yet he lasted probably 2 or 3 rounds longer than anyone expected. Fair play to him. It was much tougher than I thought, and he absorbed a lot more shots than I imagined he could. AJ said it himself inside the ring. Wicked fight. Respect to Jake for taking it, took a heavy shot, but he put on a fantastic fight. And big respect to AJ, the better fighter.